Hi there and welcome to another edition of the Silverbird Selection. I'm continuing my journey backwards through the alphabet, playing the remainder of my Silverbird and Silver Range games. Last time around was Pitfall 2, which means we're on now the letter O, and the game I'm playing today is On-Field Football. This is another Activision re-release. The game originally released by Activision in 1984 and re-released in this Silver Range packaging in 1986. It's a very common game to find. You'll get a copy easily for not much money. My copy cost me 80 pence, for example. It gives you an idea of just how desirable it is. Not many people like old sports games. They're usually quite obsolete, so it's probably not going to be the most amazing American football game. American football is also something that I know nothing about, really. So let's go on a journey and see what on-field football is like. Let's begin, as we always do then, by looking at the packaging. As you can see, it's the normal Silver Range packaging. Pretty decent, this one. You've obviously got all the sort of hallmarks of an American football game cover here. You've got the football player about to throw the ball or receive it, the football helmet, the American flag, the logo with that sort of college font there at the bottom where it says football, and the spine's very much the same as well, with more of that American flag and that logo again. Back cover's got the two screenshots, and you can see quite clearly some action going on the field there with some players, and also what looks like a scoreboard with the crowd on, although strangely the scoreboard's got no score on it yet. It's a bit strange, but there you go. And the blurb says, capture the essence of Super Bowl excitement with on-field football, a game for rookies and pros alike. Well, I'm definitely a rookie, so we'll see if that's true. So inside we've got the usual list of games in the Silver Range, and let's move on to the instructions. As you can see, on-field football, copyright Activision, as I've already mentioned. On-field football captures the essence of challenging Super Bowl action and excitement in American football, a game for rookies and pros alike. That sounds familiar. Some loading instructions and then some gameplay instructions, which are very extensive. You can see they span almost 2 pages. So it says for playing the game, well, let's not go through the details too much, but it's got some menus, it's got some gameplay instructions for tackling, passing, catching, interception, laterals and screen passes, extra points. Then it's got all these offensive plays, and we'll get into those when the game loads. More information there, then stuff about defensive plays as well. Basically just an absolute ton of information, which I have read. I haven't absorbed it all, but I have read it. So we'll see how that comes into play when the game loads. So this should be a pretty familiar sight if you've watched any of my previous videos, especially the last one, Pitfall 2, because here's this loading screen again, drawing itself onto the screen. The Firebird and Activision present, and in this case obviously it's on-field football. No doubt in a second it's going to tell you some stuff about not using action replay cartridges. No, it hasn't actually, it's not put it on this one, so maybe you could have had your action replay or freeze frame plugged in to load this game. But there you go, very similar to the one we saw on the last video, just the difference being the name of the game. Overall, a nice little loading screen, but nothing more. So the game's loaded and you're presented with this title screen with a number of options. Bit of music in the background, which is pretty basic Commodore 64 music, to be perfectly honest. Nicely presented though, with a nice American flag waving at the top there and a big crowd underneath the scoreboard. Presumably this is supposed to be, but this has got your options on. So firstly, F3, you can toggle between 5 minutes and 15 minutes, assuming that's the length of the quarters. F5 toggles between 1 and 2 players, or a demo. We'll stick with the 1 player mode. And F7 moves on to the next menu. And this is a sort of starting thing for the game, the starting positions of the computer and the visitor being the player. So you can switch between various options: pinpoint legs agile, pinpoint hands agile, scrambles legs trap, I don't know what they are, they're various things for American football. So let's go with pinpoint legs trap for the computer, and for me we'll go with scrambles hands agile, and then we'll kick off the game. So the game kicks off. Here you can see the football field, and I'm the team playing in yellow. So the home team, the computer, kicks off, I get the ball, and then the idea is I've got to run up the field as far as I can before I get intercepted by an opposing player. Didn't get very far there. Then you see the scoreboard. So as you can see, it's 0-0 at the moment, as they say in America. So now I get to choose the formation that I want to play and the various options for the different players. So as you can see, I've only got 4 players, and now you choose these by referring to the grid in the instruction book, in the instruction inlay. And the idea is that by pushing the joystick in a particular direction, you'll choose a formation. So for example, if I want to push up, I'll end up with a 1 right, whatever that is, and then if I push up again, then the tight end will do something, and then the wide receiver will do something if I push right, for example, and that will create a formation. You then got a chance to, okay, I've got a delay of game, I've got a 5-yard penalty because of wasting too much time talking about what I was doing. So basically, yeah, by pushing various directions on the joystick, you choose the positions and the formation for your players, and then the game moves to actually some action. I guess I press fire to do this. Yeah, press fire. The ball's passed to the quarterback, who can make a run. You can also throw the ball, pass the ball by pushing fire and a direction, but I failed to do that, so I've been pushed back, and it's time for me to have another try at doing stuff with one of these formations. I can barely read the inlay while I'm looking at this, but I'm going to go down for a 1 left, whatever that is, and then I'm going to go down again for a slant, and then I'm going to go right for a option right, whatever that means. I've got no idea, but there you go, that's where my players are. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, so there's my quarterback again. Let's see if I can throw the ball this time. No, for some reason, maybe it's because I'm still on the sort of 0 yards line. This isn't going particularly well. I'm not really sure what happened there. Yeah, not really sure. Don't really know much about American football. I've got no idea what's happening. Oh, okay. I guess because I've been pushed back to my own touchdown line, then it's over to the opponent for their go, maybe? I'm not really sure. So I've intercepted the opponent. Let's see what happens now. So yeah, the computer's got 2 points for a penalty, and it's not going very well so far. So now the opponents are choosing their offensive formation, and I've got to choose my defensive formation, which I didn't do in time, so now I'm just doing whatever was defaulted to by the computer. There you go, I've intercepted the opposition, and it's now 2nd down. And again, so there's a limited number of formations or options you can choose for the defensive side of things. Again, you just choose those by pushing up and down on the joystick. I think the idea is that if you were playing a 2-player game, the opponent wouldn't be able to see what options you're choosing, and therefore wouldn't be able to choose the best defense for those options. I mean, I don't know if it would make a great lot of difference anyway. So again, I'm just going to pick a couple of options. I literally just pick these at random because I've got no idea what's what. So far it's not been too bad because I've managed to push them back a little bit. Oh, that was a pass thrown, and it was missed, I guess. So it all just goes back to the 35-ish yard line, whatever they were on. Yeah, 38 it says at the top left there. So they're on their 4th down now, so they might try a kick here, which is something you can do also. Yeah, they've tried a kick, so I should be able to get that fairly easily and run up the field, and it all starts again. So each time it flips from one side to the other, the attacking team's always pushing upwards and the defending team's always going downwards. So let's see if I can get a bit further than I did last time. So again, just picking options at random. I don't know what they are, so there's no point in me trying to research what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's see if I can actually get a pass thrown this time. There's a pass thrown, and I totally missed it, I guess. I threw that completely to the left. I think the idea is you're throwing it to a player to the left or right, who then receives the ball and runs up a bit further. It's a bit vague really what's going on. To be honest, this might be a pretty good representation of an American football game. I just wouldn't know because I don't really know what I'm doing. Graphically, pretty basic. I mean, the representation of the American football pitch seems alright, and the players are running around nicely, but they're a bit bland looking. Oh, I've passed that off to another player there. I made a little bit of progress there, I think, but yeah, I didn't even know I was doing that. So I'm on my 4th down now, so let's just go with some options again. I'd love to try and explain what these all were, but as you've already seen, I've got no idea what I'm really doing. So I'm just going to run up the side. Nope, that's just pathetic really. You can do a kick, which I'll try and do the next time it's my chance, just to see if that makes things any more interesting. So I'm back to defending now. Just for reference, if I push up I can contain middle, and also I can contain long passes or something as well. That audible thing that pops up, by the way, if you press fire when that pops up, you can change your decision about what you want to do. Oh, this looks bad. Touchdown for the opposition. I wasn't really paying much attention there. So there you go, that's a touchdown. They now get a chance to score a field goal or whatever it's called as well, which will no doubt actually happen because it's the computer. Yep. So now they're 9-0 up, or 9-0 up as they would say in America. So yeah, graphics pretty basic, sounds are alright. You've got the noise of the crowd when something good happens, which clearly hasn't happened at all for me yet, but other than that, not much in the way of sound. There's a tiny little sort of plinking sound when the ball's kicked, which you probably can't even hear. I don't know what happened there. A touchback, whatever that is. So on it goes. So there's still 2.5 minutes of the game going, because obviously every time play stops the clock stops as well. So here we go again. I'll try and do something with this and try and at least make a little bit of progress. Don't seem to be able to pass from that formation for some reason. So okay, I'm just going to go like down, down, down. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, that pass was thrown, but I missed it, so great. Yeah, it's not really very interesting. Just like American football in real life, I just don't understand it. So let's try left, left, left this time. Well, that's definitely changed the formation. Let's see if that gives me any better chance of actually doing something. Oh, I've thrown the pass, but I've missed it and it's been intercepted, and that means I suspect that I'm now defending. No, maybe not. I'm not really sure what happened there. Okay, let's go right, up, left. Again, it all just looks the same to me. Obviously the position of the players from the start is a little bit different, but generally speaking, well, making a bit of progress up the wing here, if you call it that in American football. But yeah, that looks like no progress again for me. So what I'm going to do is play this to the end of the first quarter, and that will be enough because, well, as you can see, I'm not very good at it. I don't really know what I'm doing, and it's quite dull. If you like American football, maybe it's great. I really don't know. At least I intercepted that guy before he reached the touchdown area. The goal line, I guess that's what the G stands for. So yeah, with the defending, you've just got two options, which is the rusher and everyone else. Rusher being someone who rushes rather than the country, obviously. Again, I was terrible there, and they've got another touchdown and another field goal. 1 minute 45 to go. There's really nothing more I can say or do in this game to demonstrate it, other than try and make some progress up the field and try and get a touchdown, which is very unlikely to happen. What I should do though is try the kick at some point, so I will give that a go before the video is finished. Don't think you can pass when you've received the ball on this initial kickoff. I think you just have to run as far up the field as you can. Touchback again, I don't really know what that means. It's obviously something the opposition do to just kick it into their own or your touchdown area. But yeah, again, no idea what's going on really. Don't care enough about it to really find out either. So here we go, doing the formations again. Let's see if we can make any progress whatsoever. Here's a throw. No, it's got intercepted. Maybe I'm better off just leaving my players exactly where they stood when I do these throws. Okay, so let's give it another go. I could tell you the names of all these things I'm selecting, but I don't really have enough time. But you saw the instructions at the beginning, so I'm picking some of those things. I'm not even telling you what I'm picking anymore. Well, this is interesting. This is progress a little bit. Not enough to earn a round of applause, but I'm a bit further up. I wish I'd known what to pick there, because I might do the same thing again. Well, this looks similar. Again, making a bit of progress. Not a lot, but oh, got some applause for that though. So this has gone back to down 1 now, and I don't really understand why, because I thought you only got 4 attempts before your time was up, but maybe that's why I've got the round of applause. So I'm just going to try that again. No, that didn't work at all this time. Okay, so let's try a kick. Let's see if I can work out how to do a kick. I think you do it by pressing fire, but I wouldn't count on that. Okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah, there's a kick. Well, that was fun. That is then it for me. No good, apparently. So the idea is obviously that you've got to try and get as close to the goal as possible, and then kick it through the upright stick things, whatever you call them, to actually score some points. So I'm back to defending again, and I've got 30 seconds of this boring game left to go. This doesn't look promising because they're already at my sort of within my 20-yard line. So yeah, good luck to me here. Let's just go with that. He's obviously going to throw this, and this guy's already in the box for me to for him to score a touchdown. Sorry. So yeah, they scored another touchdown. This has been absolutely abysmal from my perspective. I have managed to score a touchdown once when I played it previously, but it's not really worth the effort for me to try and persist with this game any more than the end of the first quarter. So for 5 minutes of supposed game time, I've been now recording for about 10-12 minutes. It gives you an idea of just how slow American football is, and I think that's true in real life. Not that I've ever watched it really, but see if we can make any progress here. Not really, nothing noteworthy. I think that's the end of the first quarter. It is. So there we go, 23 zip down after 1 quarter. A little bit of music plays. But there's really not much more to say about it, so I'm just going to move on to the review scores, and this game will play to some extent while I'm doing this. So firstly, packaging. I think the image on the front cover is pretty good, and the instructions are very detailed. I couldn't really be bothered to read them all in detail, but it does give you plenty of information about what you're supposed to do in the game and what all the options are for offensive and defensive plays. So no complaints about the packaging. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Presentation is pretty good as well, pretty modest title screen, but you've got the options for 1 or 2 player games, different half lengths, different formations to start with and things like that. So pretty good presentation. Going to give that a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the graphics, they are pretty basic, as you can see, just sort of rudimentary sprites for the players and so forth, and the image of the playing field is reasonably well done, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for the graphics. Sound, pretty basic, few crowd noises and other bleeps, a little bit of tunage as well, but the tune's not particularly good by Commodore 64 standards, so I'm going to give the sound a 4. And finally, playability, well, I think it's actually not a bad representation of an American football game. It's just not my thing, and I'm not really interested in learning how to play it properly, so I'm just going to go with a bang average score of 5 out of 10 for the playability. As I said, not really my kind of thing, but it seems to play reasonably well and have a few options, and maybe as a 2-player game it might be more fun. So that gives it an overall score of 6 out of 10, and obviously you can probably guess I don't think it was worth $1.99 because I'm just not really interested in American football, but if you were, then maybe you would think it would be. So there you go, that's on-field football. I've had enough of looking at this green screen with little men running around on it. If you've got any thoughts about the game, let me know in the video comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.